The ghosts and the goblins are headed to the campsite. Are you ready to greet them? Well, coming up on this week's Tip Tuesday, I'll share some last-minute, inexpensive, and quick tips to get your campsite ready for trick-or-treaters. Welcome back to the Glamp Spot and welcome to this week's edition of Tip Tuesday. For those of you who are new, hello and welcome. I'm Mika. I consider myself a concrete glamper and I love all things campsite decor, and I like to say more is more. And so on Tip Tuesdays, it's my opportunity to share with all of you some of my ideas to decorate your campsite, whether that's outside or inside your rig. This week, I wanted to share some tips for Halloween decorations. Halloween is around the corner. The countdown is on. And so for us, the first time that we celebrated Halloween at a campsite, it was a surprise to us that it was such a big deal. There was a lot of decorating contests, trick-or-treaters, and people were really into the Halloween spirit and the festivities. And so I thought this year was a great opportunity for me to share with all of you some last minute tips. If you're in the Southeast region, especially where the weather is beautiful, you hadn't anticipated going out, but you're going camping, and it happens to also be festivities that are taking place associated with Halloween, I want to help you get prepared. So today I want to share a couple of last minute decorating ideas that are inexpensive. In some cases, it costs you no money. And the best idea of it all is that it's less than 5 minutes. I know a lot of the tips that I share, it does take me a little bit more than 5 minutes, but I thought for Halloween, you know, it really is just one day. If you're a part-timer like we are, or a weekend warrior, you're just going out for a couple days. And so you may not want to have to go shop and all the expenses that are occurred with that, or you just may not have had a lot of planning ahead. This really is just a last minute thing. So I'm going to give you some last minute cheap tips to help you prepare. So with that, let's get started. Here is my decor box. And you may ask, Mika, what is a decor box? I think this is the key that's going to help us, stay on task and be prepared for some last minute decorating at the campsite. And so the thought process behind this camping box is that everything in here is what we are planning to use to decorate with. And with the exception of this couldn't fit in the box. But I think the biggest thing is that when you're camping and RVing last minute, especially when you're doing some last minute decorating, you just don't have a lot of time. And so I would say the first thing that you do to figure out what goes into your box is take a look around your house. Everything in here, I would say, let me double check, let me keep myself honest. Less than 10% of things in this box is something that I've purchased this year. Everything is from around my house or something that I've used in years past. And so that's what I encourage you all, that if you're headed out to the campsite, don't go shopping, shop your house. That's where you're gonna find the best deals. And I like to say 100% off. So what's in the box? I think a few things to keep in mind, especially since you're decorating at the very last minute, is think about things that are going to pop, and think about maybe 1 or 2 places that you want to have the most impact. You can't do everything just because of time constraints, the resources, and again, to keep ourselves honest, we want to stay with decorating with things that are in our one box. I've heard some of you that have mentioned that, hey, you want to decorate, but you just don't think that you're going to have the space, or you may be a full-timer and you just don't have the opportunity. Well, I think that there's always an opportunity to find a little bit of space somewhere on your rig or somewhere on your tow vehicle, if you have a towable or fifth wheel, that you can find a little space for yourself, a little box of joys, I like to call it. And so decide what works best for you. In my case, I know this size can go inside the rig. It can also go inside of our tow vehicle, so I am good to go. So let's get started on a couple things. I have this stackable pumpkin, came from my house. I'll share with you how I plan to use it in a moment. have pillows. You know how I feel about pillows. Pillows that have little fun decorative words on top. Of course, I have a tablecloth, and I have various decorative items. These all came from the dollar store, so this is in that 10% of items that I purchased this year new. I'll tell you how I made this little stand. And then I also use Ziploc bags. You know, if you've watched us in some of our previous videos, how much I love big Ziploc bags because it just keeps things so organized. And then everything else, I'm on the fence if I'm actually going to use it, but it's in the box and it's an option. So with that, let's get started. So now that I moved everything off of the picnic table, let's start our theoretical 5-minute clock. We're going to start with the tablecloth. So when decorating, a focal point is really key. For this 5-minute setup, we're going to focus on the picnic table. And then these are my stackable pumpkins that I purchased from Home Depot last year. These sit outside on my front porch at home. So they were perfect to just stack. Boom, boom. And so now we'll just start going through some items in the box. Again, so since it's 5 minutes, this is making such a statement piece. You don't need that much. So after looking in the box, I think I'm going to concentrate on using this purple web netting Dollar Tree item. These purple spiders came from the Dollar Tree as well earlier in the year. And then with my pillows, they also coordinated. So use whatever you like. If you do want to make a quick trip to the dollar store, or just stick with coordinating items that you have at hand. I had some spiders from last year. They're really huge, lightweight. I had a trick or treat sign. So that's really cute. We'll let that hang off. We'll throw that on here. Randomness in here. Have some eyeballs, some purple pumpkins. We have some little plastic spiders. So again, goes with our theme. Throw a couple on there. It's also a dollar store find from last year. They had them again this year. Go wrong with little eyeballs. Maybe put those in the middle. It's always good to walk around, making sure that you're decorating from both sides. At this point, it's just what your comfort level of fluff, or what your comfort level or desire to add the more. What I would do and would recommend, that especially if you're doing a last minute trip, if you're into bows, make your bow before you arrive. When you have time at home, or if you have an old bow or a bow that's sitting around that's not doing something, or you could pluck it off something. I have this little guy. Now you have a multi-purpose use of a bow. And so it could go anywhere. If you have a sign like I have, that I love to take signs to the campsite, I get all of mine from the Dollar Tree. They're $5. If you wanted to add a little more there. If you had a reef already on your rig, I always have a reef on my rig. Instead of buying a reef for every occasion, adding a bow and just clipping that on is a nice touch. But whatever you want to add this. If you wanted to put some more on here, you know, let's just add this to the top just for the sake of adding it. And the final piece you would add is you have these pillows. One option is to add the pillows to the seat of the picnic table. The other option is to add this to a chair that may be connected to your campsite. That's it for suggestion number 1. Let me know below. What do you think? How would you improve? How would you enhance it? Or what are your ideas for a quick setup at the campsite focused around your picnic table? All right, so we're moving on to our theme of having our decor boxes. Trying to keep us on task of everything that we're going to do for a quick 5-minute setup is in this box. Pillows, no stranger to that. What's different in this go around is that I ordered these off of Amazon. The link is in the bio if you like them. Love, love, love this buffalo black and white pattern. Pillowcases are fantastic for RVing because what it allows you to do is just have one set of pillows, of decorative pillows theoretically, on your rig, but you can change them out. And so zip on, zip off, you can wash. This is kind of a heavier burlap material, and so it's really sturdy. This one works really well with a variety of pillow setups. This is a previous outdoor pillow that I've used multiple occasions, and so this is with this inside, and then this is already put inside. So love, love, love pillowcases when you're RVing. We're going to switch up our tablecloth really quickly to a vinyl option. Not sure if I'm going to use that, and then I'll go through everything. But again, we're trying to stay honest to the 5-minute setup. So in this situation, I would say 80%, if not 90% of things. Let me double check. Actually, I think we're in the 100th percentile of everything that's in my decor box came from the Dollar Tree. So super inexpensive. These are items that I did purchase this year. So let's pull out this vinyl tablecloth. This is a little bit more festive. It's something that I had last year. It works perfectly in RVing on the outside. In comparison to the cloth ones, these are much more easier to keep clean. Also, if you leave it on overnight, you can just wipe off the dew and you don't have to worry about it as much. And one thing that I really like about this type of a vinyl tablecloth is that it has this felt backing. So especially if you have a wood picnic table, it stays in place and you don't have to worry about it flinging around with the wind, especially if you don't have the clips. I'm not one who really likes skeletons, but this year it seemed like they were everywhere, and so I was like, why not? Let's give it a try. Quick 5-minute setup just to add you a little something to your campsite. These little books, while I don't recommend you keeping them on your campsite overnight or in the rain, if you're just bringing some items out, especially if you're trying to set up your table for trick-or-treaters that are coming around to your campsite, or you want to do something for a meal, perfect idea. So love these. And so they have, this one says Crystal Magic, Secret Stars. It's just a nice little touch. This is the Decopod skeleton that I have done. And then something that I have been thinking about of like, how would he look with some extra texture? I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. So, have them there. Again, just to kind of elevate this and do another little layer. Since you're outside, I thought greenery would make it a little softer. So let me move those out of the way. And so with that in mind, you have some more of this moss, and boom, immediately you have one layer of a focal point for your table. It took next of nothing. And so then now you also have these greenery skull heads, again, to soften them up, something as simple as putting them on a little ring. These didn't come from the dollar store. These are just something that I had. And I think the feeling that I'm going for is skeletons in the garden. After stepping back and looking at this, I don't like it. It's too busy. The tablecloth is competing with the subtlety of my table runner is what I'm calling it. So let me go to my backup stash a little bit, so we're not having to not make this first. So I have decided that this is one of those times where we learn the lesson that an idea that we have doesn't always come together. And I think this is a situation where the vision, the original vision, is not coming together. And in this case, I think I need to streamline and readjust. So what does that mean? I think I am going to not use those right here to help bring some focus and some consistency to this table. I think what I'm going to do is, as much as I love that, we're going to rearrange. Bring this in, bring the skeleton here so that we have some balance. Let that pop on its own. Let the moss do its thing. Let the spider be more part of this. You know, because this is for trick-or-treaters, maybe what we will do is just stop there. Use this as more scatterings. This is just one of those that is going to be hard to see from afar, but you can appreciate it close up. So we stepped away, worked with what we had. I had some leftover, this purpley cobweb, and I think that may be a good element of what was missing is another layer, so to speak. And so when you're decorating, you have a great idea. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I'm not going to say this is a mistake, but perhaps this was not the ideal image that I had for this setup, but I think it works. And again, in a situation where it's last minute, this is just something to enhance the vibe, to enhance the experience. And so what I decided to do for these, because again, you're anticipating trick-or-treaters coming to your campsite or just preparing, go ahead and stuff these with some candy. Either you can fill it to the brim. I've already stuck some little extra scatterings that I had and fill the bottom so you don't have to fill as much. And so now you're ready for those little trick-or-treaters, young and old at heart, and your outside table is set up. Well, that's it, Concrete Glampers, for this week's Tip Tuesday. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tips that I shared today with some last minute ideas to get your campsites ready for Halloween in less than 5 minutes. For those of you who are new to your channel, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate the continued support. Please like, subscribe, and share our content. And remember, more is more.